you something. In all your posts about it, I see you're welcoming all the young people. As a man that's middling now, what do you consider young?
I love that you asked me this question because people ask all the time, what is young? Am I young? Like, what is this, guys? And we always just say, young is a mindset.
It is, yes.
It's a mindset. Like, if you're 25 and think you're old, then okay, you're old. But if you are in your 60s, are fueled by possibility, fueled by progress, then you have a young mind. Pull up on us.
Yeah.
Come be with us. I mean, we really have people that come to our events. They are 78. We have someone on our board of directors. She's 50. She's not old. She's so vibrant and alive.
Perfect.
Any age, if you were
Perfect.
here and you just want to connect with other like-minded people and you are still vibrant and you know you have a lot of life ahead of you, come connect.
Yeah, because I mean, young could be, we were talking before this. I didn't know what an LLC was 3 years ago until I called Jordan. I mean,
Yes.
I'm very fresh in this game, but that is awesome.
And shout out Jordan, by the way.
Shout out Jordan, who's coming home. Cannot wait.
Cannot wait for Jordan to come home.
So, where'd you meet Jordan?
So Jordan and I went to Bel Air High School. He went to Ferry.
So we're rivals.
Yes, deep
Is
rivals.
Sparky, who has Sparky right now?
I don't know. I've been out the game. I've been out the game. I actually went back to a Bel Air High School football game for the first time last year, for the first time in like 10 or 15 years.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know who has Sparky.
It's probably been the same for me at a Ferry game.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But Blair's lights now.
This is true. And actually, I went back because I was like, I have to see lights at Nelson Field.
Yeah.
So that's why I went to the first
really?
game with the lights. Yeah.
I think they still kept the rivalry game on a Saturday afternoon.
Did they?
I think so. I think they said like just everybody in the town just wanted to keep that tradition, which makes
Good
sense.
traditions deserve to live on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just for that game. I mean,
Just for that one game.
utilize those lights, Valera.
Here's so Jordan and I'm sure we maybe knew of each other. And then I had friends that went to OU. My good friend Brady Alexo was roommates with Jordan, I think. And so we got to know each other through that. And then whenever I was living in Los Angeles, Jordan was, I believe, in Arizona. And so he and I just kind of connected online. We were both living outside of the valley. I had a business in Los Angeles. I needed somebody to help me with an OLC, help me with my taxes, you know. So he and I got connected and he really helped me through that journey. And then we just continued to do my taxes together over the years, just built a really good friendship and bond. And then I moved back and he continues to do my taxes.
That's
and
awesome.
Be my friend.
That's awesome. OU is, I've traveled so many places. I've never went to OU. Never been
You've
there.
never
for
been to
any,
Athens,
any
Ohio?
of the number fests or anything.
What?
My brother Luke would go down with my ID and he would have my social security number. He made a song of it just in case he would get caught back in the day. But
Yeah.
I would just see him get ready. Just the most excitement. I've never been there. I've never got to see that life.
OU was lit.
I know.
Now, I have so many like layered pieces to my story, but I ended up doing post-secondary in high school. So I got through my first 2 years of college when I graduated high school.
Yes.
I wasn't too keen on going to OU, but my degree was halfway done. I wanted to go away.
Yeah.
So I went to OU, was there for a minute. At that point of my life, it just wasn't my town. So I ended up coming back, fast-tracked my degree at OUE. I was graduated with my bachelor's when I was 19.
That's
I just
nice.
got it done because I just wanted it to be
and
done.
you avoided that burnout too.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have,
No debt. It was just a good decision for me. But I was in this space though. I was 19, out of school, but all my friends are going to be in school for 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah.
So I had a job and then would just go party down OU like 3 days a week for years.
Yeah. He would tell me about those fish bowls.
Yes. And then
I missed out.
I don't even remember. Whoever's listening is going to yell at me because I don't know the name of I think maybe it was J Bar. I don't know, but there was.
That sounds really familiar, J Bar.
Yeah, but I don't know if this happened at J Bar, but there was like this special place. I have a bunch of pictures of me holding these big pitchers of mixed drinks. And it was this one bar and it was like very cheap pitchers and you'd go there. And I just remember not really remembering my time in this space. I wish I knew the name of it, but There's every bar has their thing
Yeah.
in Athens, and a wild picture to go with it.
So you did a lot of traveling after. Oh, you said L.A. You said you were in Hawaii. Now
Yeah.
Jordan also said you went abroad too.
Yes. So I actually never even walked my college graduation, which my mother's still upset with me about, because I had an opportunity to go be an au pair and live with a family in Italy. And they needed me before my graduation date. So I said, I'm sorry, Mom, I got to go. And I never walked and went straight to Italy and moved in with them.
Wow.
And I never met them. We did no background checks. We did nothing through an agency. We met on some janky website. This
Oh
was
my God.
back in like the Skype days, and my mom and dad Skyped them for a minute. We were all just like, I guess it's fine, just go. So I just pulled up on these people and just lived with them.
Now, how was that living situation like? Because I've always uh like read that Italian families like if everyone from like the great grandma down stays in the same spot.
Probably typically, maybe I was with an
Uh-huh.
atypical family.
Okay.
I lived with a family who had this gorgeous, cute apartment. But the mom, Samantha, her mother had three houses. One
Okay.
was like down the street, one was a Swiss chalet, and then one was on the Red Sea in the Middle East. They were all over.
Wow.
Very cool. And then her father had remarried a Russian woman, and they lived in Barcelona together. And we went to go see that side of her family too. So we were like all over, seeing all of their extended family throughout all of Europe all summer. I got there, and they had a 7-year-old daughter, Julia, whom I'm still very close with. She's 19 or 20 now.
Uh-huh.
But I got there, and they were like, "Listen, Spencer, Julia's going to go to summer camp. So you get to have a summer vacation here and just have fun." So I went there, didn't have to work,
That's
traveled
nice.
around,
That's nice.
and they made sure I had a bottle of rum every week.
That's nice.
That was my
That's
au pair
nice.
story.
The only traveling abroad I did was honeymoon. We did the all inclusive in Jamaica.
How was it?
I loved it. I loved every minute of it, except we went into town, like the town,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not supposed to do that. And we went to what would look like a crafter's market, and then we would
Yeah.
go to one stall and look at all the stuff that they made. So we'd be like, "Hey, come down here, look at our stuff, look at our stuff," and then they stopped asking me to follow. They started going to my wife and be like, "Look at this down here. Let's go 2 stalls down." So she's going deeper and deeper into this thing,
Oh,
and
what
then
was going
then
on?
all of a sudden I was like, "We're far enough. They're really wanting us to get down into this place too much." So I grabbed her and we were back in the all inclusive,
Really?
yeah. And I remember we went to because my brother's a chef,
Mhm.
and I wanted to bring him back home some spices and stuff as a
Yeah.
present. So we go into Spice World, and I remember this guy handed me his card, and I picked it up, and he's a taxi driver, and in quotes it says, "Promise I'm not scary driver." That was his like
That was his
yeah
like.
that was his line, that was his tag, and
You're like,
I was
where?
like, we gotta get out of here.
Where am I? Did you get spices?
Oh yeah,
Any in
what kind of
particular that like stood out?
nice Jamaican spices.
Period. I love it.
The spices that were grown in the beautiful blue mountains of Jamaica.
That's iconic.
That and some jerk chicken spice, I guess.
You got to. You got to. Yeah, I mean, I lived in Italy, and then I've done some traveling in different spaces of the world. But one time I was in Mexico, and I'm glad I slept through this. I was on this weird bus, and we were going to these Mayan ruins. And I couldn't sleep through anything, but I guess I slept through the police coming onto the bus and searching everybody. And I was already like a little bit nervous to be venturing from where we were.
Yeah.
And I just am so grateful that I slept through that whole ordeal because I think I would have been kind of nervous.
Yeah, they would have picked up on that. And
Yeah, so I'm glad I slept through that. And then I was just in Mexico last week.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Cabo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been to Cabo?
No, the Jamaica's the only
Oh,
place.
Jamaica's okay. Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, yeah. Cabo was was my first time there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say enough good things.
Really?
Cannot wait to go back.
I did a lot of traveling in America.
Okay.
So during that like 10 years, I was playing for about like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
My manager was leasing a tour bus off Toby Keith's people.
Stop.
And it was this huge Provost thing, 6 bunks, bedroom in the back, bathroom, and we were. When I say I've seen a lot of America. I saw a lot of highway of it. You know, you get off, you do your the concert, you get back on,
Yeah.
you go back home.
Yeah.
But it was a
So, like,
really fun
what
time.
did your loop look like of America?
It wasn't really a loop. It was like 70 to Nashville would be like the farthest, and going back, and then really like even locally we would bring it everywhere because it's a moving billboard.
Of
You know what I mean?
course it
Like
is.
I remember we would go down to like this was with Matt Van Fossen.
Oh, no
Yeah, yeah, I
way.
played with him. He was like
Oh,
my
how
first
cool.
professional gig. Yeah, and I remember we would go down to a town called like Frazeysburg, Ohio,
Okay.
real small town, and just park it. And you could tell like the people that have never seen a tour bus roll up, and then I remember they just started running inside, and then the whole town formed a little line, and they just started
Stop.
going in, going to the back. It was a little tour. We didn't get out there forever.
That's so funny. Didn't you guys just recently play at what's the vineyard up on the hill? Black Sheep.
Black Sheep, yeah. I'm not with Matt's band now.
Okay.
When COVID happened, Matt moved to the Parkersburg area because he got
Oh,
a
I didn't
really
know
good
that.
job, and for me to go down for practicing, going back
Yeah.
up and stuff, it was is hard. But yeah, he was that's where I grew up, down that way in the Coleraine area by the Black Sheep. Yeah.
Okay, this all makes sense.
Have you ever been down the Black Sheep?
Love Black Sheep. I go with the Headleys
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to the farm right down the road?
Yes.
That's where my brother cooks.
Okay, so
He's a
then
chef out there.
my friend Kara Irwin and her daughter Sarah Yeager, it's Sarah's grandparents that own it.
Yeah, Sally Hurtlers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're all connected and related. Yes, I
yeah.
haven't been out there in a while, but
Yeah, they have a brand new edition. Well, it's like
really?
3 years old now. Yeah. Actually, when COVID hit, Matt and I we lost all our gigs for like we had booked for a year. You know,
Yeah.
it felt like the world was ending, and the farm luckily hired me as a bartender. I
Oh,
learned
how
how to
cool.
bartend, and I was able to have a job for them. So I'm eternally grateful for them. And
Shout out.
every once in a while, I'll pull up and do like a little solo show for Sally and the guys.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. And then the best thing is they get done at 6 p.m. on Sunday, and they don't really save any food for the next week because they open on Thursday. They want everything fresh.
Oh, yeah.
So when my brother calls me and says, "Hey, you mind if I stop at your house, see the girls on the way home from work?" I know I'm getting all of it, all of the leftovers.
It's all
of it.
coming to
Yeah,
ya.
yeah. I love it.
How fun.
So why don't you stay a while?
Yes.
What gave you this idea? How'd you go about it? And what can people expect if they want to come down? What does an evening look like there when they come down to RIG Studios
All great
on
questions.
the 21st?
On the 21st.
Yeah.
All great questions.
Thank you.
So, it really came to me last July, end of July.
Okay.
It was a culmination of things. So I have a small business. I'm the publisher of St. Clair's of a Living magazine, Wheeling Neighbors magazine. I work with small businesses all over the Ohio Valley. And I would meet with all of these business owners, particularly young business owners.
Mhm.
And I would, in conversation, casually, "Oh, do you know so and so?" No. And I just kept getting, "No, I don't know them. No, I don't know them."
Yeah.
And like these alarm bells started going off in my mind of this is bad for our community if we have so many people
Such a small community, such a
that are
small
not
area. Yeah.
and we're not connected, and being an entrepreneur is such a rough road. We could really help each other out, sharing
Mhm.
resources, just sharing the emotional load sometimes,
Yeah.
and how much further we could all get, how much further our whole community could get if we had more community.
Yeah.
So that was in my mind. And then in July, I always say, like, it just came like through me that we needed to have some sort of group where young entrepreneurs, young people, young professionals,
Mhm.
college students, we could all just get together monthly and build some sort of relationships
Yeah.
together and
Mhm.
share those resources, share the information, just get each other connected. But that was one part. And then I realized also there's such a disconnect between our elected officials or those people that are civically engaged.
Yeah.
Our young people are not communicating with them. The relationships aren't there. That's a facet that like kind of needs buttoned up or something needs to happen there. So I ended up calling a number of friends of mine that are in various industries, connected various ways, just really respected young people that are doing really well for themselves. So I called all of us together and I was like, this is my idea.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to be on the board of directors? Do we want to do something? Like, what does this feel like to you guys? And then what is this going to look like if this is something that we do? So that took about 3 days. We got 12 board members that all said yes in 3 days. We filed all of our paperwork within a week. We were incorporated with the state. We had everything done that needed to be done from a legal standpoint to get started.
Yeah.
We took a few weeks, which blew all of our minds. And then by September, we had our first evening buzz. And an evening buzz is one of our signature events that we host every month. And that's a way for us to get together in various locations on both sides of the river. This is not just a Wheeling thing. It's not just a Belmont County thing.
Yeah.
This is a Ohio Valley thing.
Yeah.
So at those events, we focus on 3 things. We focus on professional and personal development. We focus on civic engagement, and we got to have fun. I'm sorry. Everything I do, I'm going to be having fun. Like, I need to enjoy myself. Joy is important.
Yeah.
That critical element must be a part of whatever we do. We can do very serious things while having fun.
Yeah.
So that's the way I run my businesses. This is the way that I we as a group have Why Don't You Stay a While kind of shaped into as a fun element. So, and the way we get the fun in there is we have a resident DJ that travels with us. He's from Zimbabwe. He plays South African music. It's so uplifting. It's so relevant. It's so fun. It's just like, it's a lit vibe, but there's nothing about it that would be distasteful, because sometimes like there's a lot of music that like I like and it really gets me hyped, but like it's probably not the most like community friendly all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why we love Amapiano South African music, because you get those elements of lit, but it's still approachable and just makes you want to wiggle.
Yes.
And at those events here, what we're going to do is we get into it at those evening buzzes. We're at different locations, like I said, because we are wanting young people to be in spaces that they otherwise may not be familiar with or wouldn't go into. So we're in those spaces. And then we also have an entrepreneur host, young person here that'll host the event and say, hey, I'm this is my business. This is what I do. These are ways that I want to connect with you guys. This is ways I think that community could help me. This is how I could help the community. Let's work. Let's build this out. Then we invite a civil servant, elected official, to come and speak. And that's pretty much it. Like I've said, we don't try to program it too much.
Yeah.
We don't want to be talked to. We want to be talked with.
Yeah.
We just want to let the room work.
Yeah.
So at this event here at the studio, which we're so excited about, we have Emily Rouse of Edgington Studios in Wheeling.
Okay.
She is a manufacturer, a clothing manufacturer in Wheeling. She has clients all over the U.S., and we really want to shed a light on her and what she's doing as a young person here. And she's also the chair of Wheeling Fashion Week. Wheeling Fashion Week is June 1st through the 7th.
Yes, Eric was telling me all about that.
With the runway show on the 7th at Waterfront Hall. So she'll be hosting that up, sharing with us what's going on, how the young people can get plugged in. And then we also have Belmont County Commissioner Vince Gianangeli. He'll be speaking as well. Okay.
And this will be next door in the hall. I remember you came in there and you said, we're going to have a lot of people. It's going to be a lot, really cramped, and then we definitely can accommodate.
It's a good problem to have, though. Like, you know what I mean? Can all the people fit? Cool problem.
Yeah, that's true. If we had to put it out into the lot, have a grill or something.
Whatever. We are so laid back.
That's good.
Because, like I said, we can do serious things and it doesn't have to be stuffy.
Yes. And I like how you're keeping it fun and community friendly, because if there's one thing I learned about the community pages on social media this area, people are quick to complain. People are so quick to complain. To the point where it's almost comedy when you go to some of the groups. I'm sure I don't have to mention some of them, but
yeah, that whole thing, I would love to get those people together that have such a negative worldview digitally.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not like their lives in real life.
Right.
But they have this digital negative worldview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, come out in real life and pull up on us, because I bet you would have fun with us.
Yeah.
You would love to kick it. We would have the best time. Great thought-provoking conversation. let's just get out of the groups and get into the community.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's those people that I honestly want to connect with most, not facetiously, not in spite, but
Right.
I just feel like we could honestly probably have some really great, memorable conversation together.
Mm-hmm.
Get off the rec room chair and get downtown. We got stuff to do together.
And all parties involved would say, "Wow, they're nothing like I thought they would." But
Everybody.
yeah,
And that's what really I think about often with all the division just in the world.
mm-hmm.
If you meet each other face to face, IRL, there's a lot less that divides us
Yeah,
than what binds us.
yeah.
So let's just, once again, all I scream is community.
Yes.
Jump into it.
Yes. I remember one of the times I was seeing Red going through community pages when like Eric's been he's been reaching out for different employees. They're looking for a construction manager position, I think a new acquisition and sales position, and something he just posted something to Comage, and the first comment was, "This is a scam. I can smell it a mile away." And I'm thinking like people don't even need to do research anymore. They can just if they're feeling some type of way that day, they can just publicly say something without no information and just shut their phone off, and that's it. It is so wild.
And that is also why I know community is so important, because in real life, we hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Even if it's just knee-jerk reactions, you get held accountable. Even if you're not trying to hold someone accountable, just your reaction, verbally or non-verbally,
Yes.
the person that's spewing it out feels the type of way. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And people that typically make those comments online, you can tell they're not really interacting with a group, or they're
Right.
not really interacting with their community because they wouldn't be that comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are the people, once again, get out here. We got stuff to do and talk about. Come out,
Yes.
come out, right?
So we were talking about the different events you had for your evening buzz. What would you said? Is it Waterfront Hall would have been what would be your personal favorite
Okay.
out of all? Because I know you've done Kirk's ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
That'd probably been mine because
It was lit.
I am
Kirk's
a fan
was lit.
of Kirk's.
The thing is, I don't have a personal favorite because each of our partners that we work with, right? We're in their space and everybody's like energetic signatures on their space. So there's a certain vibe to everywhere we go. And every person that opens up their space to us, wow, thank you. Like Kirk's wasn't even open for the season.
Yeah.
Kirk's wasn't open at night. They went above and beyond to create space for us and community and young people. And that just like blows us away all the time,
Yeah.
that people are willing to do that with us and for us and in the name of young people. Wow.
In so many different industries, like going from an ice cream parlor to like something like Waterfront Hall, like a venue space. That is so awesome.
Yes, and we were at Leva's Jewelry in Bel Air. We were in the jewelry
Okay.
shop in November. They had hot cocoa and cookies for us, and we were looking at the diamonds.
Yes.
And we, a lot of us bought stuff. We're like, oh, I didn't know this. I mean, Leva's, they can do personalized jewels, settings, everything. They have a lot of great silver. I'm a silver person, sterling silver. They have a great collection of that. So anyway, we were in there, like everybody was figuring out what they wanted to leave with. So we've been in an array of spaces, but one space that sticks out is Waterfront Hall, simply because we have 4 events with them a year. Dan, who owns Waterfront Hall, he's a community partner of ours. They have monetarily contributed to the success of what we're doing. And then they open up the space for us. They are so accommodating. They are so helpful. The vibes are immaculate. I could go on and on. And it's also quickly becoming a community cornerstone, a cultural cornerstone in our area. So many people have their own great memories there. They're comfortable there. Whenever they see anything that Waterfront Hall talks about or promotes or says, like that's a seal of approval to a lot of people. So then we get to meet a lot more young people because they're already comfortable with that space and have great memories there. So we get to extend our tentacles out to more people.
Yeah.
So that's why Waterfront Halls stands out for our partnership, for the vibes, and for the comfortability that it lends to so many people we want to get in contact with.
What I love about the Waterfront Hall is almost every employee you see behind that bar has some sort of position in entertainment. They're a performer. I think it was Kaden Board was telling me, I was interviewing her, and Rachel Krem, shout out.
Love them.
Shout out Company Caravan. But they were saying, like, in the interview process, Dan asked, do you have any performing arts background? Because, I mean, just to put that
Didn't know
energy
that.
out. Yeah.
He's so cool. I love Dan. That's a
It's a genius move.
yeah, but he's a genius. So like, what else do you expect? A genius move from a genius? Come on, no way.
Yeah. I met Dan when we were doing the OVDJs. We're doing an event downstairs, and Jan Dykstra down there, he gave us one of the penthouse suites, and we were filming like a little podcast. We were grabbing different DJs, bringing them up, and we were packing up all the cameras, all our gear, and I was on the stairwell down as Dan was coming back from a vacation. He was going up, and we kind of like looked at each other, then did a double take, and he kind of looked at me with that look like I'm the owner, like what are you doing in here? And then we introduced ourselves, and
Yeah.
yeah,
He's great. He's a partner of ours with Wheeling Fashion Week as well. I'm working with
Okay.
Emily and
Yeah.
Lisa Bronczyk on that. And once again, Waterfront Hall is really helping us bring this vision to life
hmm
and house an event for the whole area.
yeah,
It's just really, really cool to be supported by business owners like that, space owners like that.
hmm
Something that really blows me away about Dan also is he is never afraid to dream and then also be like, what does this look like in real life and how can we make that happen? Like, if it makes sense, let's do it.
yeah,
People that lead with no off the rip,
hmm
they're a little scary.
yeah,
So why is everything no? Like, can't we just do a maybe?
yeah,
Just like
yeah.
try it out.
And it seemed like he's just been so open to any ideas that his staff has brought him. I mean, like it's like the jam band central now. If
It
you go,
is.
you see all these bands that you never would have seen if he didn't open that place up.
No.
So many different bands. Like Ruben's Painted Mandolin. I don't think you would be seeing them if Waterfront Hall didn't come up. And people like Dan and Tim, who's a big jam band. Shout out Tim McCormick who did the AV for them. Like, I mean,
Loved him.
yeah, it,
I mean, just bringing various art
yeah,
to the community. I think one of the greatest, I always say, everybody in a community, like you have your gift that you offer, right?
yeah.
Have you been to Burning Man?
No,
I haven't either, but I have a lot of friends that have been to Burning
Yeah.
Man. And everybody talks about when you go to Burning Man, at least when it started, I don't know if it's still like this, but you have to go with your offering, with your gift. What is your gift
Yeah.
to the group? I had a friend when I lived in Hawaii, his offering to the community there was he was just known as the guy that made Bloody Marys. That was like his
Okay.
offering. And I just use that as a reference to when you're a part of a group or community, you have to figure out like what is my offering to this space? Like what do
Yeah.
I give? And then if everybody comes to give, everybody gets to receive, give, you're satiated, you're helping. It just gets
Yeah.
to build these blocks. And I think one of the ways that Dan really gives to our community is just by creating space for magic to manifest.
Yeah, yeah. It almost seems like when they first opened up, Tim was giving myself and Scott a tour, my co-host, and it seemed like I was like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory because he would bring us up to the elevator, and here's the kitchens at the two places downstairs we're
Yeah.
going to use. Here's the elevator. Here's the banquet hall. Then he goes up. Here's the penthouse suites. This is going to be a spa, and I'm just thinking like, how is this possible?
He has every inch of that space figured out.
Yeah.
Vision. That is something that I think the Ohio Valley had a lot of at one point.
hmm
And then for some time, the vision kind of twinkled away. You know, there's
Yeah.
a bunch of factors in why
Yeah.
one may lose vision,
And
right?
there's a lot of comfort in let's just do the same thing that we've been doing too.
Yeah, negligence I think is something that we've had to deal with in our
Yeah.
area for a long time. And when you start to like want to move things forward, there's a lot you have to take care of behind you because what the negligence caused.
Yeah.
And I just really always want to give people their flowers or champion them when they have vision and they persevere with the vision and just continue on regardless of what people say.
Yeah.
And he's one of those people with vision. And there's a number of people in our community that truly have vision.
hmm
And I don't know, I just always want to celebrate the visionaries.
And your whole take on you have to bring something to the community. This is why don't you say Awhile so perfect? Because this is where you can find out who has what, who has something to offer. And really like everybody down there that's an entrepreneur has a business. It's so many different like not just necessarily contractors, but people you can reach out to that can help you in some way in your own. It was just like with Eric, I met him through Jordan just because discussing business. He recognized like what I can do as far as like sound engineering and producing, and then look at the space that he provided and we can do now, and what the stuff that I can offer to him because he's starting to show. Yeah.
Community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing I love about Jordan. Jordan is one of those people that picks up on what your talents are, what your offerings are.
Yes.
And it's like, I feel like you can maybe plug and play this over here. Let me connect you with these people. Y'all go make the magic. Do whatever you guys need to do. Call me if you need me. But you just got to know each other.
Yeah.
Connector.
Mm-hmm.
Connector with ever. Jordan is never looking for something in return. And I think that's why Jordan has such a great life, is because when you go through life just doing things for the sake of goodness,
Yeah.
you get tenfold back.
Yeah.
And it's no tit for tat energy. He's just a team player. And once again, so grateful to have team players in our area.
Yeah. I do filming for the properties that they acquire sometime when they acquire, and after like I'll edit, submit to him, and he pays me. He'll just ask, "Do you need anything? Like, what can I give?" I'm like, "I'm good, dude. Like
good.
we're
Thank
squared
you."
away." Yeah, just always just making sure that everybody in the circle is taken care of, so everybody can.
And the coolest part about Jordan too is all of that, and he's such a problem solver that I've been in some pretty I've had some pretty big problems in my life before, and Jordan's like helped me with those problems, and he's always like, we can figure it out. We'll get it.
Yeah.
And he figures it out, or he'll like give somebody the resources to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan to me is just like a very calming person.
Yeah.
To help with things, and I think that's great because there really are some big problems in the world.
Yeah.
But if you can work through those and mitigate those with somebody that's quite calm, even though they're serious, I'm like, blessing.
Yes, and a family man too.
Oh,
good. Waiting for you, Jordan.
his wife and his baby are just they're picture perfect, all of them, and I'm so excited they're all gonna be here.
Yes.
Good for them.
And she's from Mexico, so I'm just excited about this culture shock that she's going to have going to the valley, seeing hills.
Yeah. Speaking of different cultures and things, are you an Indian food person?
I've only tried it once when I was younger.
Okay.
So I need to do it now.
We need to revisit the Indian
yeah.
cuisine experience.
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. So there is a spot in Wheeling at the Wheeling Food Mart.
Okay.
Like East Wheeling. It is so fire. You have to write it down and go.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'll try it.
It's like a hidden gem of Wheeling. That's the thing. There are so many hidden gems in our area. And that's another thing that, why don't you stay a while? What we're working on bringing to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. We have all these gems. But how is that helping the gem holder, and how is that helping our whole area if we have a bunch of hidden things and we're not telling our stories the best and we're not sharing what's happening? If we share it all, I think we could collectively build a lot more pride in our hometown area if we were simply aware of who came before us, what's happening now, what we're building towards.
And I can see from somebody who's lived in LA, if you look at our area, size-wise, it's smaller than a little community in LA. So to think the networking's not there is absolutely wild, because from Ferry to Belair, that distance, what is that in a big city? It's nothing.
It's nothing.
To think people aren't getting the necessary networking that they could use is wild to me.
It's fucking asinine.
Yeah.
Come on. We got to get outside.
Yeah.
We really got to get outside. But I see it. It's happening. We're doing it. The space like this studio, all of these, it's sort of a cultural amenity, right?
Yeah.
Being able to come into a space like this and create and connect and have these resources at your fingertips to utilize.
Yes.
Community amenity to me. And I think as we support these spaces as people that live here, I think it's very important that when these things pop up, we have to support with our time, our resources, our dollars. We need to keep our money circulating in our own area to make sure that those that are taking risks and making investments, that their investments and their risks are supported by their neighbors.
Yes.
We're so comfortable supporting these big faceless, nameless brands that do not much for us in our communities.
Right.
But then someone opens up something down the street and we're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you mean you don't
Yeah.
know? This is us.
And it's the same thing with like entertainers too, because like everybody's following like the top Billboard hits, but I think it's changing because Isaiah Keys just put a video out, and
Shout
I
out
think
Isaiah.
like the first day was over like 20,000 views or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And I interviewed him. It seemed like right when winter was breaking, he was on a hiatus, and he came back and just started creating and just started dropping constantly. And now, yeah, this last video just did crazy numbers.
He was so good. The aesthetics were so good. The visuals.
Yes.
It was a combination of so many amazing elements coming together.
Yeah.
I loved it. So funny. I saw him perform at the Towngate Christmas
Okay.
event. And he just almost did a spoken word, and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
what is going on? This is great."
Yeah.
So then I was literally watching his performance, and like, I'm a creep. I don't care. I have no shame. I was like, I asked him, what's his name? I looked him up on Facebook, and I was like, I was like, I gotta know this guy because he's doing something really special here and has been.
Yes.
And I knew it all. I was involved in with my community, and why don't you stay a while? And I was just like, nah, we gotta link. Like, we can't be all living in this town and we don't know each other.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with him, and he came to some of our Why Don't You Stay a While events, and we've been seeing each other. And then we just figuring out ways that we can help each other's expression, art, get the support there,
Yeah.
just really champion the young people doing cool things in our area.
I'll tell you what, I'll look at the songs. He'll either message me when they drop, or I'll get on Facebook. And the first time I see them, I can't even I have to be able to sit down in a quiet room and digest them, because it's not nothing like what's on the commercials right now, like what's going out commercially right now. There's a lot to digest in his songs, and
He's a brilliant mind. He's got a
Yeah.
lot to say, and all of that is so important. I think he's doing a dope job.
Yeah.
I told him when I was talking to him, I was like, I need a summer banger. I was like, I need something that I'm just trying to beat my chest to. I was
Yeah.
like, so I just was like, here's my unsolicited 2 cents that nobody needs to hear, but I'm just gonna say it.
yeah,
And yeah, he's just so talented. He's got so much good shit
Yeah.
going on happening. I'm so happy for him, happy for his family. I'm just happy for all these different pieces of our area.
yeah,
And we need to keep our autonomy in our pieces, but then also like plug in and support each other
Yeah.
and all those things that make
yeah.
the town go round.
The ultimate meeting of young entrepreneurs for networking. Why don't you stay a while? On the 21st, be here at RIG Studios in Bridgeport, right, conveniently located between AutoZone and Sunny Boy.
Right there.
Taylor, thank you for joining us.
Spencer.
What?
Yeah.
Why did I call you Spencer? Taylor
don't
just
know.
now. I don't know. I know Taylor Porter.
Yes, that's my cousin.
Okay.
Here,
Okay.
okay, so, no, listen. Okay, so you know Taylor. Do you play music with her? Because she sings.
That's your sister.
No, it's my cousin.
Cousin.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cousin.
She's the best yodeler I've ever heard in live setting.
It's literally true. But yeah, we're cousins. I got
Shout
a lot
out
of
to
cousins.
Taylor. I can't believe I just called you Taylor. Okay. That's wild. Yeah, I just off my
And
head.
that goes to show how small our area is, how
Yes.
connected we all are. We literally sat down and I asked you, Dot and Donnie
yes,
Headley, and you're
yes.
like, yeah. And then my cousin. Like, that's what makes this place so cool.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
does.
we really can like cross reference so much about each other
Mm-hmm.
to each other. It deepens the bonds.
Yes. Now,
Shout out Taylor.
does have you been to her concerts?
I haven't seen her sing in a while.
Well, she plays with the band that I played with in Matt Van Fossen.
No way.
Yeah, shout out to Cooey and Jeff. They taught me so much about playing on the road and stuff. Yeah, Taylor Copper Creek. Yeah,
I made her
Copper Creek
website.
guys. Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Last year.
This is probably like 15 years ago. I heard her yodel at
Stop.
competition. I'm like, I cannot believe somebody's doing this right now.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
And then she's involved with the council. Was it One Reason to Stay? I think the single she dropped with them.
Dope.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't, but I need to.
Council rap group. Check it out because
I gotta look it up.
She did, yeah, search the council
Okay.
rap group from the area. Shout out to those guys. She recorded a single, "One Reason to Stay," with them, and it's really good.
I gotta
It's
hear
real
it.
good.
I
Well,
love
Spencer Porter.
Ah,
It was,
I'm
it was nice
crying.
meeting you. Definitely want to do this again with you sometime, and definitely looking forward to the 21st.
Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here. What a great conversation. Super enlightening. I think we discussed some pretty important stuff for young
think
people
so, yeah.
like us here. So
Yeah.
thank
And,
you.
for young people too that like thinking about getting involved in something like this, like you said, like getting your LLCs, getting everything set up for your business isn't that hard. It's not hard to market it, not hard to do that.
And I know we're saying goodbye, but I'm glad you brought that up because our next workshop, we have 4 workshops a year. Our next workshop is getting into the LLCs, is getting into
Okay,
all of those
perfect,
things
yes.
that people are like, what the heck is this?
Well, what you think you should have been taught in like 8th grade
Imagine.
class, or yeah,
Imagine. Don't get
yeah.
me started on all that. Imagine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're all here now, so shout out to
Yeah,
us.
Yes. Right. Well, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you to your boyfriend who says he listens to the show.
My boyfriend and his rugby coach.
Thank you guys, and they're about to compete.
Yeah, they are reigning D1 National Sevens rugby champs. They're in Washington, D.C. right now, probably playing as we're speaking. They're in the semifinals, and they are projected to go on and win and become national champs again tomorrow. So I'm going to D.C. at 5 a.m. tomorrow to go catch the game. So they better win because I've said this here, so they have to win.
Good luck to those guys.